What's happening, everybody? This is Gary Seisel. This is Two Jersey Kids. I'm alongside my man, Adam Buckingham, and we are about to bring to you a very special episode. Adam is in his car right now, recording. I'm not really sure how this is going to go today. I am hosting right now, in case you haven't realized already. But Adam, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Actually, I'm not doing that well because I'm kind of annoyed that I have been going about a week now without internet because of a whole rigmarole with Comcast and all that bullshit, but I don't want to get into that right now. If you guys didn't know, this is Two Jersey Kids. I'm going to the spiel because I don't care. This is Two Jersey Kids. We are a video game podcast that gives you an outsider perspective of video games because we're just two fans of video games. We grew up on video games, and you can follow us on Twitter at Two Jersey Kids. We love interacting with you all on Two Jersey Kids Twitter and our own personal Twitter handles. So yeah, and also before we get into everything, I said last week that if we hit 100 reviews on iTunes, that I'll be giving away my Xbox One because I don't play it that often. And if you do a written review, you are automatically entered into a chance to win. And if you guys are listeners right now, a fan of the podcast, you can try to be a little sly and say, just get people that you know to give us 5-star ratings without writing anything, and that increases your odds. So, a little competition there. But yeah, I'm doing good. I haven't been playing much games because, unfortunately, I've been dealing with the whole unpacking situation. I never knew that two people can have so much shit, but I found that out the hard way. Did a lot of unpacking. Not too much gaming, but I'm excited to talk about games because even if you can't play, if you're in a lull, as you have been time and time again, Gary, you can still talk about video games because it's still a passion of mine. I still love talking about it. The last game that I played, I think, was Sly Cooper on the Vita, like a week or two ago. I've never actually played a Sly game, so it was interesting to hop back into these old PlayStation 2 games that I never got around to playing, which was in my basically wall of shame for not playing. And so far, so good. It's pretty cool. It reminds me of it kind of brings me back to the old school kind of like mascot platformer style games, going from level to level, trying to collect a key at the end to unlock and get to different portions of the level to get to the final boss to collect certain things. So that's basically my experience of gaming. The game that I've really been playing is how quick can I unpack my clothes and put them on a rack. That's basically it.
That's one hell of a game. No,
yeah.
I mean, on the other hand, I've been playing some PUBG lately. I've been kind of getting more into that game. I guess I've been playing a lot of solo action, which is kind of, as the kids say, triggering. Because, okay, so my experience today that I've been playing, I've been trying to grind a little bit, and it's so frustrating for me because I'm so used to, over the past few years, I've been playing a lot of like Destiny, so I've been so used to fast-paced action and constantly pushing people and constantly getting attacked or fending off an attack. But now I'm playing PUBG, and it's a lot more tactical. And tactical, of course, is sometimes mixed in with camping, unfortunately. So this game...
But you're a pro at. I remember Call of Duty, you were, not to say you're a camper, but you were very methodical and slow for that fast pace of the game.
And that's the thing. I was thinking earlier, this game, PUBG, would have been perfect for me about 10 years ago, because I was like, I guess Call of Duty Modern Warfare was kind of like my first introduction to that shooter genre, so I was very careful and very methodical, like you were saying. So this game would have been right up my alley about 10 years ago, and while I still enjoy it now, it's really hard for me sometimes to play patient in this game, and unfortunately, I get myself into positions where, like, I'll try to push a house. I run into the doorway, and there's a guy sitting in a corner with an assault rifle or a submachine gun or a shotgun. And it's so frustrating sometimes. And I was playing earlier, and I was just like ready to shoot myself. I was so annoyed. But
damn, that's extreme, Gary.
I know you have those days, man, where you just can't be patient in video games, and I've just had one of those days. You know how it is. But
so let me ask you. I also saw that were you doing duos or were you doing team?
Yeah, so
playing with people. So do you feel like for you personally that playing with somebody else or a few other people, because you can interact with them, you can take it more slow. You're sort of not trying to push the pace to, entertain yourself, I guess you could say. Whereas you're now talking with friends, and it's sort of a more entertaining experience. Do you see that as are you more patient when you actually have friends to play with?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that in this game, if you're going to play for like an extended period of time, I think it's way better to have someone to play with. So I have been playing duos. I haven't played squads yet. I haven't had like more than one friend at a time on playing this game. So,
oh, so sad.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. But duos, that's fun. It's hard. I mean, I think it is a little bit harder sometimes in solos because you can get shot from so many different angles. And, if one person gets a drop on you, that means there's two people that have a drop on you now, and they're going to shoot down on you. So it is harder. If I'm going to do like a stream tomorrow night, for example, or this weekend.
Yeah, I saw that you were doing streams. I didn't get to see it because, my internet has been down, and I've chronicled my pain with that. But that's exciting. Gary, how was the first stream? Did you get any views? Did you get 0 views? Was it exciting? Was it exhilarating? What did you learn from streaming? And better question, did you make sure to use the Two Jersey Kids stream account, or did you do the dick move of your own thing and branch off because you're an asshole?
Well, I did branch off. However, listen to me on this one. So I have in my next stream, I've created an overlay using like a website basically that kind of like lays out a template for you. So in my next stream, which you'll see probably tomorrow night, I'll probably be on playing duos because I just can't do solo right now, but that's a different story.
I can tell by your voice that you just can't.
Dude.
I just feel the stress and the anger just emanate through my earbuds right now.
The rage is real, dude. It's real. But, my God. But yeah, I mean, tomorrow I'll have an overlay. And actually in this overlay, it has like the Two Jersey Kids logo off on the side. And I have like where you can find me on Twitter and us on Twitter. So it will be kind of like a cross marketing thing going on here, cross promotion on the stream for the podcast. So I'm helping us out. But yeah, tomorrow, as far as the stream's concerned, it was a fun time. The first night I think at the most I had like 5 viewers. I'm not sure.
Nice.
That was
That's
pretty
better
cool.
than none.
Yeah. I mean, I had a friend watching. He's actually a moderator in my chat, which is kind of funny. But
nepotism at its finest, I see.
Yeah. So I had him watching. I couldn't figure out who the other 2 viewers were, though. I was like, who the hell are these people? And I asked them to say something in the chat, but it didn't happen. They were quiet, I guess. But I think from now on, though, if I do stream, I'll have, at the minimum, like another person with me to bounce off of. Because, if someone's trying to watch my stream, they don't want to just see a guy sitting there in silence playing a game. It's just not that interesting. So I want to try to have somebody in there with me. But
you gotta also promote the fact that if they go to iTunes and listen to the Two Jersey Kids podcast and write a review, we'll read the review on the podcast, and also they'll enter a chance at an Xbox. I cannot repeat it enough. People,
yeah.
Please go review us. It'll help us out greatly on iTunes, and also you have a chance to win. And it's still, 100 is a long way, but if you get the ball rolling, you start moving. You start moving with more. You get 18, then you get 19, then you're at 25, then you're at 35, and bingo, bango, we're at 100 in no time, and then there's a chance for you to win. Who knows? Maybe there's an Xbox sitting on your front doorstep. That's exciting stuff.
I would say so, judging by your tone. But yeah. But yeah, anyway, that's been my week. If you don't mind, Adam, we can now move on to This Week in Gaming, brought to you We're hyped! We're hyped. We are very excited to bring this to you. Anyway, moving into This Week in Gaming, brought to you by Gatorade and Moby Games, more realistically, Moby Games. I have first up a game called Prison Tycoon, released on Windows in 2005. Now, this game was kind of bizarre. This game just caught my eye. I was like, okay, I played a lot of Tycoon games, but never one where I built a prison. I thought that was an interesting premise. So, not surprisingly, your objective in this game was to build your low security facility into a profitable maximum security prison. Interesting. So players are able to choose from a New England, Southwestern, or West Coast prison style. I guess the West Coast prison would be more modeled after San Quentin, for example. But anyway, a lot of players felt this game was really, or at least the concept was really solid and interesting, which I kind of agree. It's very intriguing to me. But ultimately, the game fell very short of being decent. A lot of the reviews that people, or a lot of reviews that I guess a lot of major websites had were 4 out of 10 on Steam. And even on Moby Games, for example, I don't really see a lot of reviews typically, but on Moby Games, the user score was 0.7 out of 5.
Yeah.
So, yeah. The common complaints on this game were that there was bad camera angles, lackluster graphics, choppy or slow frame rates, and annoying music and sound, which basically, limited the enjoyment factor of this game. So, believe it or not, this game actually would spawn sequels in the future.
Really?
Yeah, there were 4 more. Four
Holy
more.
Shit.
4
I've
more.
never heard of Prison Tycoon.
Yeah, dude, it's news to me, man. But yeah, there were 4 more Prison Tycoon games, and they would release basically up until the year 2010 before they ended. But each of them would receive overwhelmingly negative scores. So I guess if you have the money to make a game, it doesn't really matter who buys.
I guess they didn't learn from their lesson on previous 3 iterations.
Yeah.
But wasn't this around the time that tycoons were like the thing?
Oh, yeah.
Like every single day they were releasing a new roller coaster tycoon or water park tycoon or some other random tycoon. I don't know. Build your salon tycoon or fucking a dry cleaner tycoon. I don't know. Just throwing out some ideas,
No, it's very true.
If you're thinking, I'm giving them out, you should take them.
There was actually Zoo Tycoon, which I played the hell out of back in the day.
I did.
That was a great game.
Where I did not know how to feed my lions, so I just fed them penguins, and they were pretty happy. About that.
It's a sound strategy.
I felt kind of like an asshole after I fed it, but I mean, I saw the smiley faces on the lions, and I was like, oh, that's helpful, I guess. I don't think my zoo people really wanted to see it. The attendants at the zoo, I think they run away screaming, but it's trade-offs, man. Do you want to make the lions happy, or do you want to make your customers happy? And the lions are always right. Am I right?
Dude,
I'm right.
I couldn't agree with you more, man. You sound like just a tremendous zoo guy. Just a real entrepreneur, But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just paving the way forward for zoos. Just if zoos, owners, if you're listening, always treat your lions with respect.
Yep. By feeding them penguins. But yeah, we digress. So moving on to the last game on This Week in Gaming, we have Athens 2004, released on PlayStation 2 in 2004, if you can believe it. So for non-Olympic fans, this game was actually based on the 2004 Summer Olympics. It featured events such as track, field, swimming, gymnastics, equestrian, weightlifting, archery, and shooting. Now, I include this game because I don't know, for some reason I owned it. I think it was maybe a Christmas gift, a late Christmas gift, or a birthday gift. I can't remember. It was some sort of random game I just happened to have when I was a kid. So, in my experience, I never really enjoyed this game. I think
like to highlight it on This Week in Gaming History.
Well, it's such a
quality stuff.
It's such a random game, though. Seriously, I was like, wait a minute, I actually had this game. I don't know, it just caught my eye. But yeah, I never really enjoyed this game. I played maybe an hour of it before shelving it for eternity. And it appears that I wasn't alone in the hatred, I guess, of this game, or at least the disdain. So IGN, not surprisingly, rated this game very low, 4.5 out of 10, criticizing the button-mashing control scheme and the overall easiness of the game. On the other hand, GameSpy, which is interesting, they actually love this game. They gave it a 4 out of 5. They said the game had diverse gameplay. So I guess me and IGN are just a bunch of idiots. I don't know. We don't have refined taste. I don't know. I'm crazy. But
I mean, when I see these type of games like track and field or like the Olympic style games, I don't see how these type of sports are conducive for video games in general. Like, you're talking about a lot of button mashing. That's all I can really think of with track and field. Like, how can you? There's no really game in that except for how fast can you run, and that's just based on the only way you can do that is button mashing. Like, you're not even guiding your person. I mean, it'd be kind of cool if it was more like a race where you're swerving into people, knocking them off.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be more exciting than just button mashing in the same lane. I mean, like throwing a shot put. Like, how is that really, if you swirl the analog stick and then let it go, that's not really that exciting either. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's really hard to base a game off of. I mean, like gymnastics, swimming. That sounds kind of cool, but equestrian. I'm not so sure if you can sell that, but I don't know. That's just me personally, but Anyway, that has been This Week in Gaming, brought to you by. Come on.
Moby Games.
Moby Games, not Gatorade this time, but yeah. So, as always, this is our news episode, and we're going to be moving into the news now. First up, we are going to be talking about No Man's Sky. They have a major update apparently coming in August.
Oh, I know. Everyone is excited to talk about more No Man's Sky. Am I right, Gary?
Oh, dude. Let's be honest. I mean, I don't know about you, but I've always enjoyed this game, at least at its core. It obviously didn't live up to the hype that it was never going to live up to that hype, let's be honest. But apparently they are definitely taking steps to improve upon the base game. They've released 2 other updates previously, one of which that brought base building and vehicles to the game.
Which
so
you hopped back in to test out.
Hell yeah, I did. I think I still have it. I think I'm almost positive I still have that game installed. I never took it off. I wasn't one of those No Man's Sky haters. But
yeah, I mean, I as a fan of, I don't know, exploration, I've always been a fan of thinking of like Star Wars and all the crazy worlds that they have, and I've always dreamed of going out into outer space and exploring new worlds. This sort of definitely tickled my fancy. If you're a person that's into that, I feel like you were completely satisfied with this game.
I agree.
Of course, if you're the other person that were just expecting every planet to be teeming with civilizations and different storytelling, I think you were just oddly mistaken and probably led a little astray by the developers. And also, you're a victim of your own hype, which you mentioned time and time again on 2 Jersey Kids, which you can follow us at 2 Jersey Kids on Twitter. Please go follow us. It'll help us out a lot.
That's promotion right there. But yeah, so apparently some Redditors, I don't know, uncovered a PDF stating that a patch titled Project Waking Titan is coming in August, and it will pave the way toward new experiences in version 1.3. Now, I don't know if that could be any more vague, personally, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know what I could see coming to this game. I know some people are wondering if it could be like a story update, which adds like some sort of, you actually have some missions to complete. I don't know. I don't know
you want my prediction, Gary?
Go right ahead.
Here's my prediction, because I'm always the best at predictions. I mean, you can take for granted that my Steam Xbox prediction was a little off, but it was in the right mind. I mean, it made the most sense. But I feel like Project Waking Titan, I think they're trying to make an allegory to back when the United States was a very neutral party in a lot of the world wars. In World War II, they just stayed out of it. And then all of a sudden, Japan comes along and decides to fuck shit up. And you just wake a sleeping giant. This is what's happened. No Man's Sky is out to take names and kick some ass now. They're finally delivering on everything that they promised. I highly doubt that that's actually happening, but that's just the thing that popped in my head first. But that'd be exciting if they actually could bring back what they promised and, add a more swath of content and more detail to the worlds that they have. And like we've said countless times on this podcast, is that they built a great foundation. However, they sort of stripped down their foundation with talking about the external features, and people, they didn't really build up from it. They just started. They tried to promise things when they only had the foundation. They tried to promise a gigantic 7-story house when they only had the foundation built. And I feel like that sort of burned people the wrong way, or took people, I guess, they just got angry because they thought there was more things going to be there. And I just feel like maybe this is them, again, adding more content of what they promised. And, maybe they can, I don't know if they'll bring people back. I don't know if they burn too many bridges to bring people back. What are your thoughts, Gary? Do you think people will come back to No Man's Sky?
It's going to be very tough. I think that...
Yeah, it's an uphill battle for sure.
Yeah. At this point, I think that people that have the game still, they are willing to give No Man's Sky a chance again, but I think that the people that, went back and got their money back and got their refund, I think that this is basically the end. I don't think that they're really going to bring those people back. I just think that the bridges were burned. It was a botched release, let's be honest. It just didn't go well, and I'm looking...
You don't say, Gary.
Yeah.
You don't say.
Yeah. So, I mean, well, it did go well, actually. They made a ton of money, but then, of course, they had to refund a lot of that, which is borderline stealing in some people's cases. But I don't know. I personally am excited to see what this update brings. This game always will fascinate me because of the space element and also the infinite exploration that you can take part in. So I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens. But anyway, we will move on from this topic. We're going into Dota 2 now, by the way. So Dota 2, the International, beats its own record for biggest prize pool of $20.8 million. Now, Wesley Yin-Poole at Eurogamer explains how Valve increases the prize pool and how the tournament works, saying, Valve boosts the international prize pool by selling the hugely popular Battle Pass Compendium, which this year includes a Dota 2 co-op adventure. 25% of all Battle Pass sales go directly to the International 2017 prize pool. 18 teams take part in the International, which takes place at Seattle's Key Arena from 7th to 12th of August. 6 are directly invited, with 12 teams who earn their place via regional qualifiers. All 18 teams battle in 2 round-robin groups from which the bottom team of each group are eliminated. The remaining 16 teams then move on to double elimination main event at the Key Arena. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this prize pool is absolutely insane. I mean, I was thinking to myself earlier, I'm like, this is the type of shit that makes me to want to just suddenly drop everything. Just quit I don't really have a great job to begin with, but just quit my job and just be like,
let's hope your boss is not listening.
Yeah, well, he knows I'm looking for new jobs. I told him. But, it just makes me want to drop everything and just be like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to dedicate my life to a video game, maybe make a lot of money. But I don't know. It just, sometimes it's crazy to me how much money is on the line for these tournaments. I think it's kind of cool. It just shows how much the gaming industry has grown and the competitive side of things have grown. But, Adam, how do you feel about this?
It just seems like, to me, I see these type of articles every single year about how they keep topping the prize pool in the international for this Dota 2 tournament, and it goes to show you that this sport continues, or eSports continues to grow, as there's a article that we're going to discuss later on, or little news later on about people hopping into the Overwatch League. So it's just going to show you that this is becoming more and more viable option or an investment for rich people, because it's breaking in so much revenue that by 2020 it's going to be worth $1.5 billion, which will put it pretty close to the top 4. I mean, it's going to be close, but it's not obviously there yet, but it'll be closer to the top 4 or top 5 revenue making actual sports.
Yeah.
So I just think it's insane. I say good luck to all the people playing in the tournament, and if you win $20 million, please share it with Two Jersey Kids. Me and Gary would really appreciate that. It would, we'll forever be grateful.
Yeah. So you can submit your payment on our Patreon, right?
Yeah. Whenever we do release that, Gary, you sort of kind of put that out there. I didn't know we were going to release our Patreon yet, but
it
when
isn't.
we finally do,
yeah.
It'll be more of a official announcement when we, maybe when we get 100 reviews, that's when we'll finally
there you go.
Release it.
That's what I'm saying.
So it'll be 2 and 1.
You gotta give something, folks. You gotta give something, and then we'll give you back, some shit. I don't know, whatever.
You gotta give something to get something. Am I right?
That's the word I was looking for. That's the phrase that I was searching for. But anyway, yeah,
Gary.
I was.
That's why we're the 1-2 punch.
On the same token, I was actually talking to my dad about this, kind of like a side note, but I was talking to my dad about video games, and he was saying that he couldn't believe how much video games have progressed over the years, where it used to be kind of just like a kid thing where kids or teenagers would play, at the arcade or, be sitting in front of their TV for hours or whatever. And he's just amazed how it's such an adult thing now, and how you can be an adult now and you have grown men, grown women playing video games, and there's really nothing, there's no stigma anymore around it. It's just part of life, and I think it's fascinating too. And you kind of
it goes to show you that people growing up with this thing that they love are now becoming adults, and they don't have this stigma that other adults that just didn't quite get it. I mean, it happens in a lot of society, certain music that people don't quite understand. Like the parents just like, why do you like this crap? And like rock and roll, why do you like that?
Yep.
Oh, and now they become adults and then they like rock and roll. But like, why do you like hip hop? What is this garbage? It's
Yep.
like there's a lot of things. Like, why do you like comic books? And then when adults become older, like, they're fine with comic books. They're fine with their children reading comic books because they themselves grew up with comic books, and they're like, this is not something that's a detriment to their kids. It's they understood why they enjoyed it, so let their kid enjoy what they enjoyed. It's sort of just how things are in society. That's how I feel like things grow in society. Is that people need to get inundated at younger age in understanding certain things, and then when they get older, they push that on, and they're fine with it. There's no stigma anymore. That's it. I feel like that's what's happening.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I always say to my mom, like she always says that, music back in like the 70s, for example, like what she grew up with, she's like, oh, well, these singers, they really had to have talent back then. They didn't have auto-tune to rely on. And I agree completely with that. But at the same time, I always tell her, like, look, you need to look back. Everyone looks back on history and they're always like, man, those were the days. But like, they don't consider the fact that, back in the 60s and 70s, there was Vietnam kind of going on. And plenty of other things too that we could get in another podcast entirely. But I don't know. People look back on history and with rose tinted glasses. There you go. There's the phrase.
Yeah.
But anyway,
they look back with reverence, even though if in the time probably wasn't nearly as shiny.
Yeah. But anyway, that's a side note we kind of just went on. The next thing actually on this spreadsheet that I'm looking at here that Adam so graciously constructed, Ni no Kuni 2 has been delayed from November to early January 2018. Now, apparently there's more games being delayed. Adam, I feel like you have something to say on this. You've always been kind of critical of the delays that we are now seeing in the modern gaming industry pretty frequently now. So
yeah, I just want to touch on it because I'm glad you stated it. You said it right, Gary. I'm proud of you that you were able to say that properly. Gave me a good laugh because it seemed like you were struggling at first. But, yeah, it's just kind of frustrating because I want the developers to announce the game when they're 100% confident that this game is going to be there. I don't want promises. I can understand, like, saying, oh, this is coming eventually, but it just seems like it's just taking a toll on me. It's like, how do I believe any of these developers when they keep stating that it's going to this date, and then they keep pushing it back?
Yeah.
Like, I'm fine if you say, like, we don't know when this game will be released, and that is okay. That is completely fine to do that, and I would be happy if the developer said that. I would happy if they'd be upfront and honest, and it just feels like it's just taking a toll on me as a fan of video games, that it's just, sometimes I just want the honesty. If you are going to delay the game and you don't know exactly when, just say that. I'm just tired of all this rigmarole run around.
Yeah, I think that if they really wanted to maybe, I don't know, create more of like a positive relationship with their customers, they could not state a release date, because I feel like once you start delaying things, that's when people start to get sour on your game. They haven't even played it yet, and they're already like, oh, this game's never going to get released. And then when it finally does release, it's almost like they're more critical of the game than they would have been before due to the fact that it was delayed. Especially like, what was it, Mass Effect, I believe, was delayed? They were delayed, correct? Were they?
Yes.
Now,
they were.
And that's the thing.
Heavily.
You look at that game, for example, and that game was delayed multiple times, obviously. And in the end, you had a product that was basically subpar. And a lot of people were that much more critical because, look, you delayed all this time, and this is the game you release? So,
exactly.
These delays suck.
I understand releasing a game if it's not ready or delaying it. That's completely fine. But you put yourself in the position when you already announced the release date when you're not 100% confident. And with Andromeda, it seemed like at the time they still released it when they knew that the game wasn't completely ready. And I feel like that's when people burn. If you're going to delay a game, you better make sure that tiny things like facial animations and all that sort of don't get passed over, or the game's not rushed to completion, which that's what it feels like. It didn't feel like this was like a flop. It felt like it was just rushed way too quickly for a studio that may have not been completely ready for this sort of task handling this big IP that everyone's grown to love over the past the original 3 games, and now it's handing off to a different studio, the BioWare Montreal, that this is their first official hop into like they own this project that they're working on. They are doing it, but they just were, I guess, in over head what they wanted and didn't have the experience that the normal BioWare did.
Yep. No, I can't agree more. I mean, these delays are just getting out of hand. But anyway, moving on to our next topic. We have Mario Kart VR footage. This is more of a positive topic now. We're now done the ranting, at least for the time being. We're never really quite done the ranting, but
never.
We are on to the Mario Kart VR footage. Now, this will be a part of Namco Bandai's VR Zone Amusement Center. The footage that I've seen of the game, I know Adam's seen it as well, is awesome. I feel
it's really
like
cool.
I personally feel like this game would be one of the better VR experiences because of obviously the multiplayer aspect, the fact that you're playing with your friends, and I just feel like it would be such a great time. But Adam, what do you think about it?
Oh yeah, I think that Mario Kart, from the footage that I've seen, it seemed like this would be amazing to play in real. Basically, it feels like a real Mario Kart experience that you're playing, and it looks fantastic. And I can imagine that it will be fantastic because this amusement park that I think it's going to be in Japan is going to be built for virtual reality, so it's not going to be one of those like Oculus or Vive or PlayStation VR. It'll be like certain systems are built specifically for this game, I'm assuming anyway. So from what it looks like, it just seems like this would be such a fun experience, or such a fun thing to do and play with your friends. I mean, it just seems really cool.
Yeah, I actually remember, interestingly enough, just popped into my head, on a senior trip back in 2011, shout out to my high school. I'm not gonna mention it on here, but I remember one of my friends.
Wait,
What's up?
Let's stop right there. You just said shout out to my high school, and then you never actually shouted out your high school. That makes no sense, Gary.
All right, well, God damn it. Shout out to Paul VI High School. Yeah, now you know, people. Catholic school, okay? Yeah, whatever. On that senior trip, though, one of my friends brought a Super Nintendo, I guess, SNES. There we go. And I remember playing NHL 94. I think that's what the game was on there. NHL 94, but also Mario Kart. I remember people being in their rooms at night, like when the day was basically over and we were basically just kind of like sitting in our hotel rooms. People were playing Mario Kart, and it was kind of hilarious, but that's just kind of a side note there. But anyway, moving on to Blizzard. We're going to be talking about them a little bit here, and Overwatch. We were kind of mentioning this earlier in our podcast here, this beautiful podcast that is Two Jersey Kids. Blizzard. There you go. See, he's totally committed. Anyway, Blizzard announced on July 12th that it has secured owners for the first 7 Overwatch teams in its league. It is safe to say, as South Jersey Kids, that we are going to hate this Boston team. It's owned by Robert Kraft, and the New York team, which is owned by Jeff Wilpon, who owns the Mets. Now, I mean, that is, of course, Adam's writing here. He's claiming that I would hate Robert Kraft. I actually respect the guy. I respect the Patriots.
But... What are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You respect Robert Kraft, the owner of the most cheated franchise in all of NFL history?
The cheating.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I want to know how many teams in the NFL and basically any other sport did the same exact thing but didn't get caught. That's all I'm saying. Like,
nah, that's bullshit.
Oh.
I have no respect for the Patriots. There is something fishy with that organization. I do respect what he built, but I'm still going to hate the Boston team.
Well, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Really, honestly, it's just Boston and New York teams I normally just hate.
Well, don't get me wrong. I hate everybody. I hate every team that is not Philadelphia. Don't get me wrong on that, okay? But I don't necessarily hate them, like hate Robert Kraft.
Gary on that. He hates everybody.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, it's Philadelphia or go to hell. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, so it basically the point we're trying to make here is that it goes to show that more people are starting to want to invest in esports. You know, you have the guys like Robert Kraft, you have Jeff Wilpon, you know, these big name, obviously millionaires. Basically investing now in esports. And I mean, the industry really isn't even that big yet. I mean, I know, Adam, you were saying basically it's in its infant state, but I would honestly argue that it's past that now. I think that in infant state, you know, it's obviously very small, but I feel like now they're getting these big names, and it's kind of with that, it's being propelled into a bigger.
Mm-hmm.
It's now in a bigger arena, so to speak. But I just wanted to.
I feel like maybe a year or two ago it was in its infancy, that's for sure, and it just seems like it's been propelled more and more by these owners, these businessmen that see this as a beneficial investment later down the road, because right now it's only worth so much, and there's projections going down to 2020 where it's going to be worth even more, and probably going to be, if you get more of these businessmen, these wealthy people to invest in this product and put more time and effort to make it more of a spectacle, I could see esports even growing even more than their original projections in 2020, because you have these investors that want to make it work. They want to make it a thing, and they'll make it more of a respected avenue, I guess you could say, a more respected quote-unquote sport, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and let's be honest, I mean, it's like they say, money makes the world go round, and, in Robert Kraft's case, and obviously Jeff Wilpon, they have the cash, and if esports, if they're able to, kind of bankroll esports, fund them, and basically, like you said, with the monies comes the more, like, established teams, and, you know what I mean, like, it's just going to be, the more money they have, the better, let's be honest, the more money we all have, the better. So, yeah.
Everyone loves money. Money.
Got that right. Yeah, so esports is on the rise, folks. You heard it here. Moving on to another topic. This is more of like a discussion topic. I know Adam is definitely going to be probably pretty passionate about this one. It's the idea, do people care about Gamerscore or trophies? Now, there was a blog post on Destructoid by Nick Rowan that was shared by Destructoid on Twitter, discussing how he didn't understand why people enjoyed Gamerscores or trophies. Now, he basically talks about the grinding and how it's a slog to get through the trophy grinding. And basically, he started complaining about the PS4 trophies. Or I guess did he start complaining about the PS4 trophies? Is that what the idea was? I know you kind of wrote things in here.
He started complaining, and there's a quote in there if you want to read. It says, quote. He
goes, really? What the hell is that all about? These are video games, Sony. Put a goddamn high scoreboard on them. It's not that hard.
All right, I want to first comment on that. Nick, you're a fucking moron if you don't like trophies. Trophies are the bomb, along with achievements. And I like more trophies nowadays, because that's just me. Because fucking trophies are where it's at. Who doesn't like a damn trophy when you play a game? I mean, really. That's where, I guess, participation trophies came around, because everyone likes a trophy, even though I feel like that's sort of a poor thing to do. Participation trophies is not the right thing, but it's always nice to have something to tell you that you are progressing through a game. It's like a little extra something, and I can understand people that don't quite understand it and they just want to play the game. That's completely fine. Ignore them. You don't have to pay attention to the trophies. If you don't like trophies, you don't want to go out and get a platinum for trophies, or you don't want to get all the gamer score that comes with playing a game on Xbox, then you don't have to. But hating on the fact that they shouldn't be there, or that they make no sense, that's completely bullshit. Because I know there's plenty of people, Molotov_Crow. I can't remember I always forget the underscore Crow Tiv maybe. She comments all the time about her gamer score, and she's proud of it. And there's a lot of the times where people are proud of their gamer score, because this states, like, this is what I did. I'm proud of it. I feel accomplished for getting this platinum or getting this amount of gamer score. I remember I was proud of having like a large gamer score at the time, way back when. I had like 60-some thousand, like 10 or 5 years ago, which was, I think, pretty insane at the time, and I was kind of like a nerd. But, it's just...
Us nerds? No.
Never. Not that it's the wrong thing, bad thing, but it's just... It got me a little frustrated. It just seems like this person was not looking at it from both sides. They were just looking at their side. I can see both sides. Like, I can see people that just don't want to get trophies because it feels like too much of like a hassle to go out and get them. But I can also see why people enjoy it. I can see why people put time and effort to get something that they can show off, saying, this is what I did. I wanted to, because I love the game so much, that I went out and got a platinum. I went out and did these random things. I went out and completed this really difficult level that seemed like impossible. I went out and completed Call of Duty World at War on the hardest difficulty because it was fucking insane.
Yep.
You know?
No, I completely understand. And I mean, I'm personally not much of a trophy guy. Like, it's not something that I pursue all the time, but I'm not against it by any means. And honestly, like, I mean, I like grinding for things. That's never been an issue. I've had to grind a lot in Destiny. Let's be honest here.
Sure.
But in my my honest opinion, the way I looked at it is, I don't really see how grinding for a gold AK-47, for example, in Modern Warfare 2 is much different than grinding to beat the game at like a highest difficulty. Like, you know what I mean? Like, grinding for a gold AK-47 for me is like the same as grinding for the gold trophy at beating the game on veteran. So
Yeah, I completely agree.
yeah, so it's just basically pick your poison, and I don't think it's right to completely criticize somebody else for wanting to just get a trophy or a gold trophy or a platinum. Like, it doesn't make much sense to me. But, you know,
What was his name? That wrote this blog post?
Nick Rowan, sir.
Fuck you, Nick Rowan. Fuck you and the horse you rode in on. Just kidding. I'm sure you're a nice guy, but this blog post really annoyed me.
Yeah, I think I don't know. This isn't really directed at him, but I think a lot of people have a hard time stating their opinions today in a way that's educated and makes sense. But call me crazy.
Because it seems like people just want to throw shade at everybody else.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's like people that they don't agree with, they throw shade instead of just coming at it from both sides and being calm, cool-headed. Like when he was talking about Sony, like, why the hell? What the fuck are you doing? Not including a high score in your games in the form of gamer score. I'm like, well, people like trophies. I'm a fan of trophies. I know they copied right off of what they did with achievements, but it's slightly different. You have a level up system in trophy system that some people pay attention to, some people don't. The platinum is really cool because it's like a platinum. It's like stating that you completed the game 100% basically. Yep. Whereas gamer score, you can say, oh, I have this much, but it doesn't really show off that you got, this. You can say, like, I don't know, I haven't been playing Xbox in a while, so I don't know if there's a 100% completion gamer score, like, say, oh, I got 100,000 gamer score points. I sound like a fucking Xbox noob, apparently, with what I'm saying right now, but you know what I mean. There's no statement like, I got this platinum trophy for the Xbox side, but I can see why people like the gamer score because it's sort of like a ranking system as well. So it's a give and take. Yep. Between different systems.
Yep. To each his own, as they say. But
exactly.
Anyway, moving on to the final topic of the day. This is a slightly shorter episode. We're on like 42 minutes right now. We're doing pretty well, I would say. But our final topic of the day is going to be the Destiny 2 beta. Now, it's a big deal. I know a lot of people out there hate Destiny. I understand your reasoning for it. The release of the game was piss poor. I know I wasn't happy with it. I didn't play for a little while, and then I came back, and it's been a match made in heaven ever since. Not really, though. It's actually been a
cult. Then you've been a cult follower drinking the Kool-Aid left and right.
Yeah.
One of these days, the Kool-Aid will kill you, Gary.
It's been a toxic love-hate relationship. Let's be honest. That's honestly how I could explain it. Like, remember, for anybody out there that listens to this podcast, just think of like a bad relationship you had, and that's basically my relationship with Destiny. Like, you had your good moments,
love hate,
but you had your bad, and the bad sometimes outweighed the good. But anyway, starting next week with PS4, I guess it's going to be starting on the 18th of July, and then I guess Xbox has to wait another day because the Destiny is basically a PS4 exclusive, sort of, or has not a PS4 exclusive, but it has like exclusive content for the PS4. So
which was a smart move on Sony's part, to be honest.
Yes.
Getting things like months ahead of time. This beta release is not really a huge thing. It's like only a day, whoop-de-doo. But when it comes to like DLC content or additional things that are months ahead of time, I feel like some people would be peeved about that and would actually go over Sony specifically play Destiny on the Sony consoles for that purpose. Because some people want to play the content as soon as humanly possible, but I mean, it is kind of frustrating though for PC players. I think it's like you get it a month later in August, which is kind of unfortunate. But
it's whatever. I mean, I'm not too bent out of shape about it. I mean, the thing is with this beta, you have to pre-order and you can get early access, which gives you like an extra day to play with the game, or an extra day or two. I can't remember exactly, but you get extra time. That's basically it. After that, then you have the open beta, which everybody can play, which I will be doing. I'll probably pre-order the PC version, to be completely honest.
You're going to be streaming it, Gary?
I actually will be. I really look forward to that. I can't, like, The thing about it is, like, Destiny is a game I feel like I'm at my best at right now, and I just want to stream more of that. Like, I suck at PUBG right now. Like, come on. Like, I can't feel good about myself, damn it. You know, it just sucks. But
I got another promotion for you while you're playing the game, Gary.
Yep.
When you're playing Destiny and it pisses you off, you just say, Destiny 2 really pissed me off from time to time, but you know what won't piss you off? Two Jersey Kids, the podcast that I host with my best friend Adam Buckham. We are a great video game podcast. You can follow us on Twitter at Two Jersey Kids. And you know what is also amazing is that you can go on iTunes and give us a 5-star rating or any kind of rating, and just honest feedback would really help. And give us a written review, and that answers you. Once we get to 100 reviews, we will pick all the written reviews, and you'll enter a random random chooser, and one of you guys will win an Xbox One. Great promotion. Here you go, Gary.
Man.
Throw it out there and do it.
I don't know, man. I kind of like the idea of the random name generator. If you enter into our contest, you get a random name. Who the fuck knows who you're going to be tomorrow? I don't know.
We will go to the government and officially change your name.
All right, there we go. See, that's the quirkiness that we're looking for in this podcast. But actually, the question you had here, Adam, that I think is an interesting thing is, for this beta, though, what do you think the beta has to show in order to bring people back? And I kind of wanted to speak a little bit on that. The thing is, I think with this game, with Destiny, I've been hearing from a lot of people, and I heard, obviously when it was kind of revealed at E3 that the game looks a lot like Destiny 1. And the problem I have with that statement is, you look at Call of Duty, for example, all these other shooters out there, any other game, basically, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be BioShock. All these games have a recipe, and game to game, it doesn't really change all that much. They may add in tweaks to their mechanics, and it's still the same core game. And I think that it kind of annoys me when people are like, oh, Destiny 2 just looks a lot like Destiny 1. Well, of course it is. It's Destiny. Yeah. That's what it's going to be. And I think that with this game, like, if you want to bring people back into the fold that were upset, I don't know what you're going to do, to be honest. I really don't know. I know a lot of people want a story. That's great. But I don't really know if this game is going to be centered mainly on the story. I think that a lot of it's going to come down to the co-op aspects of the game, the raids, the multiplayer. I mean, I'm really looking forward to playing PvP in Destiny 2. So I think that ultimately, like, Destiny 2 might just be completely centered around, maybe making right on the mistakes it made in the original game. They may improve the story, but I personally, as a Destiny fan, I'm really looking forward to seeing how they improve the PvP, seeing how they improve the raids. And that's just me personally, but I mean, I'm a Destiny fan. Some people aren't. I understand. But Adam, do you have anything else to add in?
What I wanted to say, touch on what you're talking about with the same formula over and over and over again. You're talking about people getting upset, like with Call of Duty. I mean, you could say that Battlefield, a lot of their games are kind of the same mechanics. They're built in the same engine. The only difference is a different quote-unquote skin. I mean, you could say going from Battlefield 4 to Battlefield Hardline or whatever the jump was, it was basically a change in skin, going from, Army to now police and gangsters, and then also to Battlefield 1, where it's just different weapons, different setting. So I feel like people thinking back to the olden days of Xbox and 360 and all of that jazz is that people were able to see the jump from game to game. If you go from Halo to Halo 2, you obviously see the jump because they were able to touch more on the technology, and the technology obviously wasn't there yet, so they were able to expand more on it. Then you go from Halo 2 to Halo 3, there was a crazy jump from the Xbox to the 360. It just goes to show you that technology you were able to visually see the jump, where nowadays technology has sort of, I don't want to say plateaued, but I mean, the games look, no matter what it is, most of the games, AAA games, look beautiful. Yeah. No matter what, they all look beautiful. You're not going to visually see a change in the actual look of the game. And I feel like a lot of the changes that have to be made are going to be, different gameplay styles, different ways of changing up the formula for first-person shooters, and not like the actual look and the aesthetic of it. Because Destiny did have a good gameplay mechanic. Their controls, it felt fluid.
Fantastic.
I liked it even more than it feels amazing. I love the controls more than Call of Duty. So there's there's a lot of things that people can gripe over, people can get upset over. Of course, especially Destiny now, it seems like it's easy target. It's kind of funny how Bungie, it seems like because now they're an Activision sort of, so they're lumped into people hating Activision, where Bungie used to be like the love child of this industry, like CD Projekt Red is now.
Yep, you got it right.
And it's just funny how people like turn on a dime in the video game industry. I mean, you loved Bungie for the longest time, and then they put out Destiny, which granted, the story mode wasn't quite there, but the game itself played really well, and a lot of people really enjoyed it. And Taken King they sort of righted their wrong with the Taken King, because they offered these gigantic set pieces with the Taken King, and they sort of brought it back, but no one wants to pay attention to that. They just think Destiny, and they just get upset by it. And also, Destiny, the first game didn't release. It hasn't released in 2 years, 3 years. There's been a break. I know there's been DLC, but there has been a break compared to Call of Duty, where it's like every single year there's a Call of Duty. And the same with, it seems like, Battlefield with Battlefront. I mean, it's just, there is now. It's just funny how the video game industry has turned on its head with who they like and who they hate, and I just feel like it's just counterproductive.
I agree, and I think that there's just a general. I think when Destiny first came out, too, there was just a confusion on what the game was, and I think that now, 3 years out. I mean, this game came out in 2014. I think 3 years out now, you should have a pretty good idea of what the game is going to be. Yeah, they may be adding in story elements in Destiny 2, but I don't want people to think that this game is suddenly going to be like an RPG. I don't really think it is. I don't know what Destiny is, to be honest with you.
I think what Destiny 2 will be is if you go to Destiny 1 and play the Taken King storyline.
Yeah.
And all of that. Is what Destiny 2 is going to be. I think they're going to have large set pieces. They're going to make it somewhat interesting, but at the end of the day, they're going to be a quote-unquote shared shooter. They're going to be something that you want to play with friends. You're going to want to raid. You're going to want to play the dungeons, I guess you could. I forget what they're called. What are they? Strike missions? What are they called? Strikes?
Yes.
The smaller raids?
Yeah.
As you can tell, I don't drink the Destiny Kool-Aid. So,
no, but it's definitely true. I think people just need to accept what Destiny is, and if you didn't like Destiny 1, I don't think you're really going to like Destiny 2, and that's just the unfortunate reality. And I think that all these people that are bashing Destiny 2 need to just kind of take a chill pill. Yeah, take a chill pill and just relax. Like, look, you didn't like the game, okay, fine. They did a lot of things wrong in the first game. We know it. Believe me, I know it. I've seen it, and I still see it now when I play the game. They're trying to get better. They've made efforts, and that's all you can ask for. And with Destiny 2, I think that we're going to see a much improved game that is going to obviously be appreciated by Destiny fans. Maybe not so much other fans. But anyway, that is basically it for episode 46 of Two Jersey Kids. It's been interesting being the host, Adam. I've never had to do this before, to be honest, except for by myself. So it's kind of fun to have you here along my side while I go on this adventure of being a host. So
did you like it?
It was fun. It was a good time, honestly. I mean, I kind of wish I wasn't talking you through a phone right now, but Verizon and Comcast kind of suck. Let's be honest. Yeah. But that's Two Jersey Kids. You can find us on Twitter at Two Jersey Kids. Feel free to basically tweet at us if you have anything to say to us. We like talking to you. We like talking to our fans. You can also find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, basically any conceivable podcast app we will be on. You can rate us.
So please share us with your friends.
Yep.
It'll help us out greatly. If you like the podcast, just please share us. I mean that's the only thing we can say. That's the only way we can grow. And we plan on being here every Friday consistently. Tuesdays are up in the air as of right now, due to the hectic schedules, and maybe we'll start lining up interviews to put in the place of Tuesday episodes. But as of right now, we will be here consistently every Friday. We won't let you down, I promise.
Yep. So, thank you, everybody, for listening. I will catch you. Well, we'll catch you, hopefully, maybe on Tuesday, but we'll probably see you again on Friday. So, thanks for being here, folks. Adam, say bye.
Bye. Gary, say bye.
See ya.
Bye. Peace out, y'all.